The Metal Gear series exceeds at a challenge that every game on some level tries to do: connect the player and the player character. Every game has sequences where you have to mash buttons to succeed at tasks, simulating IRL inputs with the intensity on screen. But in Metal Gear Solid, Snake must endure torture, and the player must also endure through button mashing. Snake complains about arm pain, which both he and the player experience.
My arm hurts.
Poor Snake.
The support team uses the nanomachines in Snake's body to stimulate muscles, but frame it in a way that instructs the player to put the controller on the arm to simulate a massage with the vibrate feature.
Snake, put the controller up against your arm.
What?
Okay, here I go. How does that feel, Snake?
Both the player and player character are having their pain eased in real time. Connecting a player to a player character through controllers and gameplay is common and necessary, and Metal Gear Solid exceeds in that aspect. But something that's harder to pull off is making the player and player character share a mental state. One of the central themes of Metal Gear Solid 2 is deceit, the manipulation of truth. What's unique about Metal Gear Solid 2 is it actually harmonizes the player and player character before the player even started playing the game. In the early 2000s, Hideo Kojima proved his thesis as soon as you watch the trailer. I'm going to show you some video game trailers compared to their actual games. We're going to go through Metal Gear Solid 2's ad campaign, followed by a very deep dive into Metal Gear Solid 2's core theme of manipulating truth, and then we're going to tie all of that back to how Metal Gear Solid 2's trailer lied to us in the best possible way. So the thing is, game trailers lie to us all the time, and we're completely fine with it because it really all comes down to expectation. When a mobile game like Clash of Clans shows a trailer with fully animated 3D environments, we know they're not trying to say this is what the game will look like. They're selling us the idea. I mean, NES games look like shit, so we had live action actors. So because our expectations for NES or mobile game graphics are so low, when we see clearly exaggerated flashy trailers, we accept it as compensating. If the graphics and gameplay were amazing, they'd show us that for 30 seconds straight instead. But when a AAA game has an exaggerated flashy trailer, we expect a lot of it. And this expectation can really work against you if you just wanted to make a cool trailer like Dead Island. Dead Island might be the best video game trailer ever that does not represent its game at all. You punch zombies in beach shorts or something. But this is not lying per se, it's the same as we mentioned earlier, but because we set our expectations high, we are disappointed to get another generic zombie game. Same thing for something like BioShock Infinite. Does early gameplay depict actions you wish you could do in the game but can't? Yes, it does. But games are developed over years, and concepts will change, directions will change. It's just the business. Is it fair to complain about? Yeah, sure, but remember that we're focusing on this essay is trailers that deliberately lie to you, specifically for plot reasons. We're looking for the intent. It's hard to research stuff like this because you'll get a lot of people that are passionate about how No Man's Sky lied, but it's not so much that they lied, it's just the product was under-delivered. Halo 5 is actually exactly what we're looking for, but what's a shame is that it didn't pull it off. And if it did pull it off, we would be focusing on that for this essay. I'd say it would have done it better than Metal Gear Solid 2, but it actually really fucked up its landing. We had cinematic and live action trailers that served propaganda, and if the plot of Halo 5 was about Chief going rogue, the idea of an ad campaign using in-game, in-world propaganda to convince me, the player, that the Chief is bad.
The one who was supposed to save us all. But now I must save us. From you.
Well, that's fucking awesome. Especially because you don't play as Master Chief. They had ads show him dead, some showed him about to be killed by Locke, one of the other player characters. He committed terroristic acts. It was just, there was even a whole goddamn podcast called A Hunt the Truth about Master Chief.
Who is the Master Chief? Where does he come from? And is he keeping us safe?
It's just so unique and incredibly fun. Only issue, it serves no point to the actual plot. Chief is considered AWOL because he's chasing Cortana, but his goal isn't bad. Cortana is an actual rogue agent, and both Chief and the Navy have the same goal, to stop her from taking over ancient technology to wreak havoc on the galaxy. Even the squad you're in command of acknowledge that if they take down the Chief, they'll be hated by everyone.
Every other Spartan, every soldier, when they hear about this, they're gonna hate us. You know that, right?
The thing is that this just could have been so good. Imagine a game where all the ads are anti-Chief propaganda. Both the player and player character would have entered the game with the assumption that Chief has done something awful, he was discharged from the Navy, and it's our job to bring back the traitor and hold him accountable. We could always be one step behind him as an awful event takes place, and when we finally get to the Chief, we find out that he's been trying to stop all these events from happening and that he was falsely accused. The only way for him to clear his name would have been to take out who's really responsible. All these anti-Chief advertisements mean nothing when we literally play as Chief and understand his mission. When you're playing as Locke and your squad literally say, hey, I don't even want to do this mission because Master Chief's probably right, it kind of undermines the whole point. The ad campaign was so good, but its propaganda theme wasn't consistent in the game's plot at all, and that disconnect is incredibly unfortunate. With all that in mind, let's look at how Metal Gear Solid 2 succeeded in manipulating its audience as part of the game's narrative.
Boy, oh boy, it's just like them. Nobody told you anything, did they?
Interior, E3 2000. We get a trailer for a sequel to one of the most successful games on the PlayStation 1. Solid Snake is back, baby, with new mechanics only possible because of the next generation console. First person shooting, hanging from ledges, light and shadow mechanics. Snake is shown escaping a sinking ship, supposedly sunk by the new Metal Gear. This is some real hot girl shit, man. Get hype. E3 2001. A new trailer. Snake is fighting some dommy-mommy lady with a big electric gun, dodging missiles. There's Ocelot, Liquid, nanomachines, Metal Gear, and Snake escaping the flooded ship again. You have a decent idea what to expect from this game. You're going to be Solid Snake, badass action hero. You could play a demo of Metal Gear Solid 2 if you bought Zone of the Enders, another Kojima Konami game. The demo allowed you to play up to the first boss, and it confirmed a lot of the two trailers. These mechanics aren't bullshit, they're engaging stealth combat. Can't wait for the game to come out. The reviews are here, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. You buy the game, and holy shit, Snake is plastered all over this thing. Look at this, Snake on the cover, the manual, the disc, turn it over, Solid Snake is back. Start playing, you're Solid Snake in a crisp 480p. You're learning the mechanics, sneak around, watch ice cubes melt, successfully shoot and sneak your way through the ship. Wow, Metal Gear. The game has been delivering on all expectations. Otacon mentions that he is starting to feel uncomfortable because this op was tipped to them by an anonymous source, using an alias of Otacon's sister. Also, it's mentioned that someone is listening in on their transmissions. They're not interfering, they're just there. So time to wrap this up, take pictures, send to Otacon, and signature long cutscene time. Ocelot with his trademark triple cross, but what the fuck is the lolly lule low? And Liquid's here.
But I live on through this arm!
Liquid's on.
Liquid, Ocelot steal the Metal Gear, all according to plan. And Snake fucking drowns? Snake! Did they just kill Snake? And now we continue and we hear Colonel Campbell, who is the commander and radio support of Solid Snake on previous missions.
Terrorists blow a hole in an oil tanker full of crude barely 20 miles off the shore of Manhattan.
But the sneaking suit and voice is clearly not Snake. Ew, he even sounds like he's trying to sound tougher than he is.
Is this a joint effort? No.
And as we infiltrate, it's clear that someone else is here first, and he isn't dead. And this isn't even held as like a reveal for later. We immediately see Snake. So if he isn't dead, why the fuck am I not playing as him? It's Metal Gear. I should be Snake. Okay.
What about it? It was all a big lie. What did you say?
So Metal Gear Solid is considered one of the first postmodern video game series. And with that title, There are a million different lenses that you can analyze this game under. And even though I want to, because there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about, I'm going to try and laser focus in on one of these core themes of Metal Gear Solid 2, which is the manipulation of truth. As you progress through the game, you're consistently being lied to or told half-truths. You're discovering things long after Snake and Otacon have.
You knew about Arsenal gear?
Yeah,
Why didn't you tell me about it?
you never asked.
You feel disconnected from Raiden because he isn't Snake, and you're kind of frustrated that you weren't prepared for any of this going in. None of the trailers, none of the reviews, nothing mentioned that you'd be playing Raiden. And your lack of information going in actually makes you more connected to Raiden than you realize. Not only do you, the player, want to be Solid Snake, but your player character also wants to be Snake. You played the previous games as Solid Snake. Raiden did VR training as Solid Snake. You feel like you've been lied to and don't have all the information. Other characters are often insulting both you and Raiden on how little you know about what's going on. When Raiden meets up with the President, a hostage he's supposed to save, the President reveals that they're on Arsenal gear, the newest Metal Gear. He also reveals the Patriots to us. Then Ocelot just fucking murders the President in front of you. It's kind of like hard to explain just how kind of game breaking this is for Raiden, because one of his only tasks is to rescue the President, and the main bad guy you're supposed to rescue him from just shows up and goes, "Too long, didn't read," and just axes him. The Prezi mentioned the Patriots, the Illuminati of this series. He informs us that they are in control of all politics. The President is just a figurehead that takes orders from them. And what's kind of annoying is that Snake already knew all of this. When Raiden talks to Snake about the presidential info dump, Snake comments on the fact that he himself was used by the Patriots. They used footage of Snake on that ship and sold it to the media. Something that actually caught me personally off guard is I played this game a million times, and when this cutscene showed up, the news article about the tanker incident used a photo of me throwing a guy off the boat. I was genuinely like, oh fuck, I can't. You guys saw that, huh? It's also worth noting that while talking about how Snake was targeted and used to create a false narrative, they show the E3 trailer footage of events not playable in-game. The Patriots sank the tanker to accomplish two things: steal Ray and fake an oil spill to create the Big Shell, which itself is a cover for Arsenal gear. They use Snake as the face of the incident to sell the false narrative, kind of like how they use Snake to sell Metal Gear Solid 2. On board Arsenal gear is an AI named GW. It was designed by Otacon's sister, and she further explains the data control of said AI. Before, information could easily be kept hush-hush, but with the internet, it's almost impossible to keep information from getting out. GW is designed to sift through data and to control what people see on the internet. A conversation with Raiden and Rose depict how this could easily become a reality.
Jack, how far do you think the Patriots' digital control extends?
I don't really know, but it probably influences a lot of what goes on in our everyday lives.
Even mundane things like which movies and songs become a hit and what kind of clothes we wear?
I think taste would be the easiest thing to manipulate.
Word of mouth communication has largely died out, and people find things through what's popular. Do you like Dua Lipa because a friend told you to check her out, or because her song is in the top 10 each week and on all radio stations? Well, what if it's someone or an AI who decides what is number one, and the radio stations just follow suit? Are the videos you watch on YouTube the ones you're subscribed to? Are they videos you specifically sought out? Or are they videos that were suggested to you? I personally have channels that I subscribe to, but a lot of the videos I watch are from channels I'm not subscribed to. They're suggested to me by an AI that knows every single video I've watched, everything I've searched, and the algorithm depicts what video I should see next. What's really gnarly is the suggestion that the friends you make online and have never met face to face could be fake as well, and they push you towards certain threads.
I'd say about 20.
How many of those have you actually met?
1 or 2 tops.
Uh-huh. That's how it is for everyone, I guess. And even if your online buddies had fake identities and were circulating false information, you'd have no way of knowing.
When you're on a Discord server with dozens of people, all suggesting games, suggesting movies, suggesting political ideas, how do you know they're all actual people? How do you know they're not Russian bots propagating your servers, or a bot made by Disney encouraging you to watch a movie?
Ridiculous.
This part where Emma tells Raiden she had a level 5 card is so funny because he reacts so hostile.
What the?
Are you impressed?
You should have told me you had it.
I think it's because he's been lied to so much over the last few hours that he doesn't assume that she just forgot. She must have deliberately not told him just to fuck with him. These themes of truth manipulation get cranked up to an 11 as we enter the last act.
You accepted the fiction we provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to.
What are you talking about?
Emma installs a virus to mess with GW, but soon dies from injuries from Vamp.
So that's why they call him Vamp.
No, Vamp isn't for vampire. It's because he's bisexual.
Snake defects, Raiden is captured. Solidus, the evil clone of this game and former president, reveals that Raiden was a child soldier, Solidus was his father figure, and the Patriots made him forget his past. Rose calls and reveals that she works for the Patriots and was sent to keep tabs on him. She tells Raiden that she was specifically instructed to make Raiden fall in love with her. But then she confesses that she did fall in love with Raiden in the process. But is this another lie? She says she's pregnant. Is this further manipulation? Olga, who is the ninja that helped us, taser sworded us and is now our friend again. Snake also did a JK and is our friend again as well. And a call from Otacon confirms that Colonel Campbell, who we've been talking to the whole game, is the AI we've been trying to stop the whole game.
You've been talking to an AI.
That's impossible.
Remember earlier when I said that you could be talking to fake people and not even know it? Well, Raiden never met the Colonel, and he was fake. Wow, foreshadowing, good job.
You'd have no way of knowing.
So let's check out our bingo card of characters who have lied or used us throughout the game. Emma's virus was somewhat effective, so the end of the game involves the Colonel and Rose losing their shit because the AI is corrupted. To be honest, I have no idea when we're talking to real Rose versus AI Rose, if we've ever really talked to real Rose outside of the ending at all. So, we're initially being told that the plan for the big show was the S3 plan. This stands for Solid Snake Simulation.
The S3 plan was conceived as a means to produce soldiers on par with Solid Snake.
But that is also another lie that is being told to one of the players that is giving us information.
The S3 plan does not stand for Solid Snake Simulation.
The actual S3 plan is Selection for Societal Sanity.
The S3 is a system for controlling human will and consciousness.
After the events of Metal Gear Solid 1, Snake becomes kind of a legend, and the Patriots did not like this. Thus, the goal of GW and the S3 plan was to test if they could control information on the internet. More specifically, if they could control the context around the big shell, it would prove to be a success. The idea that someone can control the truth to predict and control other people's actions is case studied with Fortune. She is led to believe by the Patriots or Ocelot or whoever that Snake is responsible for the sinking of the tanker ship and thus responsible for the death of her father. She grew an emotional attachment to hating Solid Snake and the Patriots. Her father was also the leader of Dead Cell. This made them prime subjects for Solidus to exploit or for the Patriots to exploit. Everyone is being exploited in this game. Fortune is driven by her emotions and sense of revenge. These feelings can create someone who is very easily manipulated. For those who have seen Midsummer's ending may have had you going, oh, good for her, but it provides evidence of how emotionally compromised people are the perfect targets for extremist groups. A recent whistleblower at Facebook showed that the algorithm finds it beneficial when people are angry because it means they're more likely to be engaged with the content.
Says that kind of ranking, engagement-based ranking, prioritizes polarizing, extreme, divisive content.
This was the plan behind the plan. This is all laid out in the post-Metal Gear fight where everyone goes, oh, you were manipulating me? Well, I was actually manipulating you into thinking that you were manipulating me because I'm actually in control of the manipulating. Here is one last coda call at the end of the game where the AI explicitly lays out the plan. The coda call that is now seen as a warning that came true, the coda call that made us think Hideo Kojima could see into the future. Their plan was to never censor information, but to create context.
Create context?
We've always kept records of our lives. through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations.
In the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness, never fading, always accessible.
Rumors about petty issues, misinterpretations, slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards the development of convenient half-truths.
Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you. You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result.
All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt.
The untested truths, spun by different interests, continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone withdraws into their own small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh.
No one is invalidated. Nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Kojima laid out echo chambers, fake news, virtual signaling, and even the word meme. If this were written in 2021, we'd almost read it as a pretty on-the-nose analysis of the current political system. Yes, the problems we all know about internet creating bubbles, conspiracy theorists, and extremists. But again, this was written 20 years ago. There were some incredible thoughts presented in this game about how we should proceed in the digital age with information being infinite at our fingertips. And the amazing thing is that these lessons were being presented to us before we even played the game. Metal Gear Solid 2's thesis statement is that truth can be manipulated. Snake was manipulated, Otacon was manipulated, Raiden was manipulated, and you, the player, were manipulated. And the supporting evidence for this thesis was in the ad campaign itself, not through creating falsehoods, but through creating context. The manipulation didn't start when we began playing Raiden, it began with us. The manipulation was there when you bought the game, it was there when you played the demo, it was there when you read the reviews. We helped Kojima prove that he could lie to us as long as we wanted to hear it. And we helped prove that the very first time Metal Gear Solid 2 was presented at E3 2000. Thanks for watching that video. I've been working on this video for a while. Kind of as inspiration and motivation come in and out, I work on it, then I put it on the shelf, and I work on it and put it on the shelf. Metal Gear Solid 2's themes are more important now than they ever have been. It's very important that we keep talking to each other and keep educating each other and keep developing tools to get through all of the bullshit. So if you smell something, say something, I guess. Thanks for watching.